Hey, this is Bill Trombley from Trombley Tool in East Troy, Wisconsin. Last night when I got home, I logged into All Metal Shaping and I had a message. It was from Mark from Arizona, and he said, for Christmas, how about your top 10 favorite books? And because we're coming up on 12 days of Christmas here pretty shortly, I thought, how about 12 different kinds of books here on this table? And I thought what we would do, let's see, there's 12 different kinds, is we'd have a basic list. I thought maybe if I posted it right now, you guys, if any of you guys are like me with my wife, she never knows what to get me, maybe you can find some of these books and get them in time for Christmas. One of the problems though is a lot of this stuff's out of print. It's out there, you'd have to search around and find it. Some of it's still in print, but it's good to know it. The friend of mine, it says, hey, when you show a book, show a title and a little bit more of the information. That way he can see it to buy it for his collection. So it's kind of divvied up into a number of different areas. And these are really the key go-to books that I have. I have a bunch of others. And some of those are good books. Some of them are okay-ish, I guess. And those books are much more like into the material science of it and stuff like that. And I have some of that books laid here. So, excellent book series. Anything from John Glover. We talked about John Glover in the past. He was the one who brought, as far as we know, English wheel, at least to the United States. He has 2 books that are out. I was looking around. My other book is actually at the house. But this here is the English wheeling machine book. These are out there. So anything that was made by John Glover. It's great stuff, information-wise. The next book, as you guys know, I was a student of Faye Butler. Faye has 3 books that are out on the market. They come spiral bound. And I took and I 3-hole punched it and I put them in a binder. So he has Universal Sheet Metal Machine Handbook, so Polmac stuff. A lot of great information in there. Color photographs, a lot of text that explains it. It gets into tool designs, proper setup of equipment. Any of Faye's books I would highly encourage you to get. To get this, Faye has a website, Faye Butler, I think it's faybutler.com, they're on his website. Every year, come Christmas time, that's where I get my books. My wife would buy them, or mother-in-law, or whatever. So there's the Polmax book, and then he has a book on plenishing hammers. Let's see here, Air Plenishing Handbook. This too covers all the die designs, different machines, handhelds, CP floor models, Milwaukee's. He builds his own stand for his Milwaukee machine. Excellent stuff in here. And then that's his pedestal he makes for his plenishing hammer. All the dimensions you would need. People ask me all the time, what's the dimension of a CP die? Well, because I make them, I got it off the top of my head, but all of that's in this book. Just wonderful stuff. And then this here is the fender shaping book. This book is building a fender, but it's the whole process, start to finish. Fenders have high crown, low crown panels in it and reverse curves. Buck design, building, setup, paper patterning, all that stuff is in this book. These books are my #1 go-to books that I'm referencing more so than any of the other books that I have is in here. So I highly recommend this series. Next book. This is Martin tool, the key to metal bumping. This is the 4th edition. I think this book is like pre-war, and it's pretty good. And I have it tied in with the next book, and there's a reason why. But a lot of great basic information, doing collision repair, lead work, straightening of panels, basic welding, that kind of stuff. Inexpensive, $17. So the Martin Tools Forge, The Key to Metal Bumping, by Frank Sargent. This book here is also, I think, one of the best books that I've seen in regards to metal shaping, sorta. And what I mean by that is there's simplistic material science in this book. This book was written in 1968 by Melvin Rickard. How to control auto body sheet metals. And how to control it is what's important for us. So this goes into atomic and metallurgical structures in mild steels, and the book builds very simplistic atoms, the atom of the structure, elasticity, deformation, and it's written in a way that you don't have to have a science degree to understand it. Easy text, and it just continues to build, and why grain structure gets changed during a collision. You know, picture a dent. Well, the grain structure, how that gets altered, it's the same when we're doing metal shaping. So there's a lot of great information in this book. It's out of print, but they're out there. You know, I found this book. How to handle on and off hammer and dolly stuff. That's key for metal shaping stuff. And what happening to the grain structure when you do it. So I highly encourage that book. Cass Naraki. The last books that Cass had are now gone. So you're only finding these books used. Cass isn't going to make any more of them. So this is Any Impossibility in Shaping Metal. This is the 2nd edition. I got mine directly from Cass. The 1st edition, my understanding, was a lot more black and white photographs, where this is more color photographs. And what's valuable in this book, just like all of these, is it shows a lot of ideas, techniques, and concepts. Cass, because of where his training was and everything, some of his techniques and processes are different than what we might see here done in the United States. And it's a wonderful reference. You can see here I got page marks on my books of things to remember to help solve problems when making stuff. So it's an excellent book to go out there and find on the market. Great information to be had out of this. The next series of books was books that were written by Kent White at TM Technologies out in California. As some of you know, Kent has passed away last spring, and there's talks that the family is trying to get TM Technologies up and running again. A lot of this information in these books was, you know, stuff that Kent had spent his life researching, and fortunate enough to put it all in print. So it's great stuff. This is authentic aluminum gas welding 3000 or 300 series stainless steel with a torch and dig work, repairing aluminum. You guys know I'm an airplane guy and aluminum guy as well. So there's a lot of information to be had in these books from Kent White. And I'm sure that there's places where you could still find these used as well. So anything from TM Technologies, Kent White would be a good video series, or good books to find. Other books. A friend of mine, Bill Longyard, wrote a number of books. Actually got doubles here. And I think he wrote more than just these two. We'd have to look it up. Power Hammer. Power Hammers, it's William Longyard, using the ultimate sheet metal fabrication tool. This is a great book. It goes into some of the history of the older machines, and then starts explaining how they were used. Great text, all color photographs, and he would go and spend time with guys that were craftsmen, and then write a chapter with each guy that he was with. So, and I think these books, I really enjoy these books from Bill Longyard. This one here is Learning the English Wheel. I reference this book, doing the apprentice panel and putting shape in and shape out on an English wheel. So it's a great book. I recommend books from Bill Longyard. I really enjoy them. Other books that are out there on the market that you'll see, this is Tim Remus, is how I pronounce it, as the author. And it's Wolfgang Productions. And there's a number of them out there. Sheet Metal Bible is one. Sheet Metal Fabrication Basics. Advanced Sheet Metal and Fabrication. This has Ron Cobell in it. There's stuff in here from Faye in this book. And why it's important that I'm showing you these is these books are out there, but they might not be easily found if you didn't know what to look for. So by having the name of the book and then who the author is, it should be easier with an internet search. At least that would be my hope. So these books I think are great as well. Great because these books so far that I'm referencing are hardcore metal shaping books, and that's mainly what we're about with this videos series. These books here. I'm gonna just murder the name. It's I don't even know how to pronounce it. Benguet Blad is how I would do it. Panel beating and bodywork. It's a 2-volume series, like super light reading, like War and Peace. This here, it's black and white, a lot of pencil drawings, and it goes through basic tools to more advanced metal shaping tools, and then concepts in it. High quality books, great pictures, a lot of original photographs too. That's a Tipo Maserati, birdcage Maserati, which is one of my favorite cars, and I'm not much of a car guy. Setting up cold machines and stuff like that. It goes into welding. It's all encompassing as far as metal shaping stuff. So good volume series to have. These books here. This is a whole series as well. I think there is a total of 6 volumes. Yeah. And what this is, metal shaping, the lost sheet metal shaping machines. And it's by a guy by the name of Tim Barton. These books were really good to have. When I got my English wheel is an F.J. Edwards. And I knew F.J. Edwards, and I thought there was a type E, and it turns out mine's actually a Model D. And that's in here. And so what's great with this kind of books is if you're trying to find the vintage equipment, like what I'm trying to do, and outfit my shop with all that stuff, this really dives into the history of all of that. And who made it, and that was then sold to this, and then this is what the model was, and that model is different than the next one, and on and on and on. And it's all encompassing of all things metal shaping. So, that's English wheels and plenishing hammers, and, they got Polmac stuff, and all sorts of equipment. There's equipment in here I didn't even know exist as far as for metal shaping. I remember in the United States, we use mainly power hammers and Urco kick shrinkers and Urco shrinkers and that kind of stuff. Where in Europe, you had English wheels or wheeling machines in the UK, but down in Italy they use Maglios, which is their version of a power hammer. And all of that stuff is covered in these books. So it's a great series out there. This is Eckhold machines in here, and which is wonderful in itself, right? You find this die, it's a shrinking die, but to what? Well, here you can go through the book and go, oh, that's for a Machant shrinker, that won't fit in an Urco. So it's an excellent book series. Is metal shaping, the lost sheet metal machines, and it's a 6-volume series. So look into those. And then these here are a little bit more of the material science books. This is a book that's on Fay's website. It's called Metallurgy. And the author's name is B.J. Montz. You can get this from Fay. It's much more of a modern book, but it covers all the same materials. So if you want to deep into material science, understanding grain boundaries, whether it's a face center cubic or body center cubic, arrangements, grain reduction from wheeling. I've referenced this book in a number of our other videos. How dislocation joints exist and all that stuff. If you want to geek out in material science, this is a must-have book. This helps give you the guidelines that you need to be able to understand how do you know when to heat treat aluminum, when not, why is that different. Same things with steels, coppers, stainless steels, all of that is in this book. So I highly recommend. This is Metallurgy 5th edition. And then we have 2 more and we'll finish up. In my earlier videos, we had talked about that Alcoa, Reynolds, and Kaiser aluminum are the ones that manufactured the aluminum here in the United States, and that all of those have guides that you can buy on how to use their product that you can find on eBay inexpensively. So this is a book from Alcoa, Welding and Brazing. Another book on welding and brazing that's a different edition. This is 1942, that's 1948. I hydrogen weld, oxyhydrogen weld aluminum. So it's harder to find information on oxyhydrogen welding versus oxyacetylene gas welding. So great stuff. This is Alcoa on shooting rivets, more riveting, finishes, how to get surface finishes the way you want, how to make data plates. It's excellent stuff. Forming, machining, look at all this. The actual different aluminums and its alloys. We have 6 main grades, but there's many other aluminums out there that exist that are just not as common. How to put on different kinds of finishes. So, and these are inexpensive books. And what's great with this is for you guys that are doing restoration work, you get this textured aluminum panel as an interior piece, and now you have to reproduce it. Well, a simple guide like this might help answer those questions. So, something to think about. And then these kinds of books. So, the federal government wrote metal books as well, metal shaping books. mainly for the military. During World War II, it was set up that you could take a guy, train him here stateside, and then send him overseas, and he'd have to repair that P-51 Mustang or a B-24 bomber or whatever. And then you had what was called depot maintenance, and a depot maintenance facility was a bigger maintenance facility that could handle heavier maintenance. So those guys were metal shapers too, and they had all sorts of things like layouts and how to make templates and spot welding aluminum alloys, how to use hydraulic presses and drop forge presses, metal spinning, how to heat treat, bending tubing, setting up press brakes. These books here, you'll see them are forming methods and generally are Bureau of Aeronautics. You'll see the Navy flight wings on them. They always tend to be the same. Bureau of Aeronautics, Navy Department, to make them so they're searchable. The volume series of these books, I mean, there's a lot of them. I don't know if there's hundreds, but there's quite a few. And inexpensive. You can see I got original ones and I got reproductions. And great information in these as well. So, easy for you guys to go out there and find. A lot of this is eBay purchases. You can find this kind of stuff. So now this helps for you guys. Maybe gives you a list of things that you can look for your Christmas gift ideas, because us guys are always so hard to shop for. And some excellent information in these books. A lot of what's in here has made me who I am as a shaper because of what I learned through these books and in the classes I've taken, which you guys all know in the past. And I hope it makes sense. Thanks for watching. Merry Christmas. Have a good New Year. Thanks.